I recently published a book called The Pastor as a Minor Poet. And what that concept is trying to affirm is that, like poets, pastors are expected to pull back the veneer of the ordinary to find out the subtext of what is at work. Poets see the mystery, the miracle, as well as the heartache that lies just beneath anything that we dare call ordinary. And they have an amazing ability to describe that so that you see that there's more than just initially met the eye. Similarly, poets write not just for the head, but for the soul, and you hear poetry in your soul. Well, I think good preaching does a lot of that same type of thing. You're not just preaching text, you're preaching to the subtext. If you have a congregation filled with people who are having, let's say, family struggles, classic struggles of parents who are not communicating well with their teenagers, struggles of husbands and wives who are disillusioned with their marriage, struggles with middle-aged people who can't get their aging parents to make the kind of choices they think they should be making at this stage of their life. Well, the subtext beneath all of that is limits of control. And there's a wonderful, rich theology in our scriptures about limits of control, and that we live within limits, and one of them is that we don't get to create other people's lives. So that's what you then preach about. You're not hopefully going to preach a sermon on how do you make your teenager talk to you. That's not really that interesting of a sermon, and it isn't really the word for us. But to speak out of the scriptural text about God alone creates human lives and we live within limits, well, then the Holy Spirit is making that sermon for somebody about a teenager. It's making that sermon for somebody else about their inability to control a husband. It's making it for somebody else about their inability to control an aging parent. But my job is to lift up the issues of the limits of control, not to tack on applications. There's nothing poetic about application points at the end of a sermon. It's very poetic, though, to develop an ongoing conversation between the text and the souls of the people in the context.